Where's my water? Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1203. Oh, sorry, I'm just checking the temperature inside here. Oh, it is a 1. Okay. So we're down to 71 degrees. Awesome. So how was your day? My day was awesome. We had day 1 of Networking Riches. Yes, Networking Riches. Sorry, the brain's a little fried today. I did get my assessment in last night, 2 hours prior. I went over my answers again, checked everything, submitted it, and I got one question wrong, and it was an 8-point question. So I only got 92 out of 100 on my assessment yesterday. And when I went back and read the question again, I thought, oh. See, the problem is that we had this one person who came into the US in 1910 in March. The 1910 census was done in April, but she can't be found on the census. So then the question was, they asked if they named the person, John, was in the country as well. And I selected no, he wasn't, because I'm thinking John is the brother. And the brother came, who also begins with a J, but he was a Joseph, arrived in the States a year later. He arrived in 1911. The husband, though, named John, not Joseph. For some reason, I got the two guys mixed up, and I was thinking of her brother being named John, even though he wasn't, and thinking, oh, yeah, well, he came in 1911, so she was in the country at the time of the census, but he wasn't. The husband, John, came into the country in 1909. And she followed a few months later. I was like, oh, such a simple mistake. So I'm kicking myself for that one. But that's okay. This week, I get to learn all about probates. And I love probates because there is so much information you can find out on probates, because you can find out in a probate packet, you'll have things like the last will and testament of the person, which would name all their heirs, how they are related, which is always a good thing when you're a genealogist. You'll find out what sort of property they owned when they died. There will be inventory lists in there of every piece of property that they owned and the dollar value next to them, even down to how many teaspoons they have and the cost of each teaspoon. It gets very detailed. And then there'll be affidavits in there from other people. There'll be coroner's reports, death certificates, all that sort of stuff. Coroner's reports if it was a suspicious death. And if they don't know what the cause is, and affidavits about that this is the person. If they had to do a coroner's inquest, there'll be the witness reports in there as well. If there was a probate hearing, there'll be reports from witnesses. So there'll be all those affidavits and all that sort of stuff. So it gets really cool what you can do. So this week, it's all about probates. And I'm like thinking, we'll be back to 100 this week. We're going to make sure we have, and I'm not being rushed this time because I got an hour of study in this morning before Networking Riches, and I have another hour scheduled tomorrow morning before Networking Riches as well. And so I'm quite happy with that because I've already got all the stuff for this module. I've downloaded everything for this module. We had to download all the articles. I've got the pages we have to use bookmarked. So I've done the day 1 of the new module prep work, and I even got the first couple of pages read as well as all the announcements and gone through the discussion board, which is interesting because there was one optional exercise they gave us, and you have, and you can go, and it's completely optional, but I'm the only one so far when I checked this morning, I'm the only one so far that has actually put the answers in for that one. I'm like, isn't that interesting? There's like 30-something people in the class. But, the others may get to it. They may have been, because we had a lot of stuff to do last week. We had a lot of stuff. And there was a lot of self-assessments along the way and all that sort of stuff as well. So, yeah, I can understand why some people haven't done that optional exercise. They may do it this week because last week was pretty intense with immigration records and census records. And what else did we do? Observations and extracting information from birth certificates and death certificates and marriage certificates and all that sort of good stuff that I love to get in there and find. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody else starts answering that question as well. But you do have to go do an image search, and images can't be searched. When you're looking for images and things, you can get to a certain point, like that. If they've got an index, you go in the index and see where it is at, what volume and page you need to go to, and then you go to that volume. But then you've got all of these images there because they're not numbered, so you have to like randomly, in some sort of order, open them and see, oh, okay, I need to go to page 465, and that's page 122. Okay, so let's scroll down a horizontal. Let's try this one over here. Oh, that's page 420. I need to go to 465. Okay, so we'll just go down to the next row and we'll try over here. That's 463. I'm on the next page. And of course, it's double image. So you've got even on this side or on this side in the same image. So yeah, that was pretty cool doing that one, and found the documentation. And then of course you have to decipher the handwriting, because the handwriting was not the normal stuff that you would expect from the 1600s. It was very tight together and very slanted. It was definitely a right-handed person, because a left-handed person wouldn't have slanted. They wouldn't have slanted that direction. It was very much slanted towards the right, and very close together as well. So sometimes you're sort of like having to decipher, having to figure things out. Yes, there's some guesswork involved in some cases, because you've got to read what you've deciphered for the sentence to see what word would best fit in there. And excuse me. Sometimes it's very obvious what the word would be, especially if they were talking about an amount of things. Actually, the 20 was pretty clear. It was, what was it, 20 pounds in good and lawful New England money. That's what I had to decipher. So that's a very interesting terminology for how somebody got paid, what the payment was. 20 pounds in good and lawful New England money. That was a description of what they got paid with. That interesting. I'm going to go research that a little more to find out more about it, because it would be interesting to find out more about that. So got that submitted last night, and I was pretty confident about the submission, because I've been working on it during the week, and just a little bit here and there, although not the 3 days I had the conference on. But I've been working on it to start, because they encourage you to go in at the beginning of the week and look at the assessment, so you know what questions are going to, because it's completely open book. And actually, maybe I'll send a message off to my instructor and say, I can't believe I screwed that up. I was thinking Joseph, not John. Joseph came a year later. Yeah, I said, totally my fault for completely forgetting the relationships. But I got all my true false ones right. So that was cool. Those were the ones I was more worried about than who John was. Sounds bad. But anyway, so we had day one of Networking Riches today, which was awesome. A lot of new people. It was great. It was a lot of fun. We had great breakthroughs. We had 2 really good breakthrough zones. So it ended up the day, I wasn't as tired as I normally am. I wasn't mentally exhausted like I usually am at the end of a Networking Riches, which was good. But then I remembered that I had taken my MetaPower Advantage, which is their collagen thing, which helps with mental clarity and that sort of thing. And I also have my diffuser going with balance. Well, this is actually the roll-on, which was rolled on the back of my neck. And balance helps with energy levels and that sort of thing too. So I had all that going. I had my diffuser going with the balance in it as well. It was being on the back of my neck. And so I think that helped a lot today too. So I'm going to try it again tomorrow. Last night I did watch The Spy Who Loved Me. It was so good to get back watching James Bond again. Oh, my night was complete. I got to see. And I like this. I liked that one, especially with a ship that swallows submarines. That's kind of cool. Tonight is Moonraker. Now, Moonraker is one of those movies that you either like it or you don't. There's there's a few James Bond fans out there that I have conversed with over the years who this is their least favorite James Bond movie. And I'm like, why? And to them, it just seems a little out there. And I'm like, yeah, well, they're in outer space at one point. So, yeah, I guess it is a little out there. Yeah, but, the fact that, and then they start going into their whole discussion and of probabilities and things being able to do and all of that. And I go, it's a good movie. That's my response. I actually like Moonraker. So I'm looking forward to watching that tonight. And you get to see a transformation take place. And so as soon as I'm finished this, it's going to go do Zeffie's TREATS, because we've already done our WALK. And then we'll be sitting down. I've got to switch the DVDs over because it's still got The Spy Who Loved Me in there from last night. And then we'll be watching Moonraker tonight, which came out in 1979. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night's one, though. That's a very special movie, that one. So the one that we get to watch, and for those who are just tuning in, November is my James Bond Fest month. I start at movie 1, Dr. No, and I go all the way through to whatever the last movie is. And tonight we are doing, I think it's movie 11. Pretty sure it's 11. Movie number 11, because I had a 3-day break and a 4-day break. Yes, movie number 11. 1, 2, 3. Yes, this is movie number 11. And movie number 12 is the one that has a special place with me. And those who have been following me for a while and have heard me talk about number 12 that's coming up tomorrow night, which we will talk about tomorrow night, will know the story behind that particular movie. So tonight we get to watch Moonraker, and you've seen The Spy Who Loves Me, and this is your first time watching Moonraker, you will see something familiar, and you will see a transformation take place. Yes, so look forward to that. So that's basically it from me tonight. It's been a busy day. A View to a Kill. No. A View to a Kill is Timothy Dalton's first movie. Hang on, is it his first movie? No, View to a Kill, that's a Roger Moore movie. That's with Grace Jones in it, and then they have there's the Goodyear one that sits out there on the 4 or 5. The blimp. Yeah. So that's Roger Moore's View to a Kill is Roger Moore's last movie as James Bond. And that's another 2 movies away after tomorrow night. And yes, Duran Duran did do the theme song for A View to a Kill. Yes, they did do that. Let's see, we're at Moonraker. I'm trying to remember who sung that one. Oh, total mind blank now. But yeah, we have, that's what that button does. I just hit a button and Kathy's comment came up with A View to a Kill. Yeah, no. So A View to a Kill is Roger Moore's last movie, and that was James Bond number 14. That was number 14. But there is a movie in between 13 and 14, and 13 being Octopussy, and 14 being A View to a Kill, called Never Say Never. And that's the one that is outside the Eon Productions franchise for doing all the James Bond movies, because Eon Productions got the rights for all the James Bond movies, except they got a shared right with Thunderball. There was a big court case on who actually owned the rights to Thunderball, and I think it's the guy who wrote it who shares rights with them or has the full rights. But they went back and remade Never Say Never Again with Sean Connery. So Sean Connery comes back as James Bond, but because it was outside the Eon Productions James Bond franchise thing, there were certain things that they could not do inside Never Say Never Again, and one of them was that Q is a completely different person. They still have Q Branch, but Desmond Llewellyn does not play Q. Moneypenny's a different person as well. They couldn't use any of the actors that were currently employed at the time with Eon Productions for their roles. So you get a different M. but they could bring back Sean Connery because he was no longer under contract to Eon Productions. So there's a whole thing about that behind. And so, yes, 13.5. Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, so 13.5 is Never Say Never Again, but it's outside of Eon Productions with their James Bond series, franchise, whatever you want to call it. So will I be including that one at the end? That one always goes at the end because I watch Eon Productions from movie number 1, Dr. No, all the way through to the last one, which is, what's the new one, last one called? No Time to Die. I've only seen that one movie once, and I'm kind of dreading watching it again. It came out last year, and it is a really good James Bond movie. Yeah, it's one of three James Bond movies that causes me to cry. Yes. And On Her Majesty's Secret Service, I cry in that one, and I cry in Skyfall and No Time to Die. Those are the 3 James Bond movies. So if I want them again, there's On Her Majesty's Secret Service at the end, Skyfall, and No Time to Die. Those are the only 3 James Bond movies that have made me cry. Even though with the other ones that I've watched them several times and I know those scenes are coming up, I still cry. And I'll probably do the same with No Time to Die as well. So yeah, back to James Bond. Off to see Moonraker. Let's see if you've still got time to join us for for Networking Riches tomorrow at havetonetwork.com. So if you want, just go to the link, register. You'll get all the information in an email tomorrow for the thing tomorrow. And yeah, we had 2 great breakthrough sessions today, which was awesome. And they've got more scheduled for tomorrow. And I'm like, yay. So it's going to be good. 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 We had a great day today. So anyway, I'm out of here. Yeah, so kicking myself. I'm gonna get 100 on this assessment for probate. And because I didn't misunderstand, I didn't misread. I just got names confused. That's why I didn't get 100, because I got names confused. But I'm going to send a note off to my facilitator too, going, I can't believe I did that I got that question wrong. I was thinking of John being the brother, not John being the husband. Joseph was they were both J-O's. Who has a husband called John when you got a brother called Joseph? And then years later, they put this question there about John. And you've thought that because you had just been reading stuff on Joseph, the brother, yeah. I'm still kicking myself off on that one, but I just got to get over it. Move on. Done. We're off it. Go have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Yeah, because if you get hooked up on stuff, it interferes with all the good stuff coming along. So puppy knows I'm about to sign off because she's here. Come here. Come on. I'm trying to train her now that if I'm sitting at the table and she wants her treats, that she now has to come and sit next to me and get hugs, and then she goes gets her treats. But stay tuned, because I got a notice today to say her next bark box is on the way, and they're actually sending me 2 boxes, because there'll be the regular monthly bark box, and then there's a second box which has all of her Thanksgiving and Christmas stuff in there. I was just like, I'll just order it now, so I don't have to worry about it arriving in time for Christmas or Thanksgiving. So so there'll be 2 bark boxes that will be arriving this coming week, next week. So I'm excited to get those. So we'll do. Come here, Zeph. We'll do the lives for Zeffie to explore her new bark boxes. But she's been really playful lately with all of the toys that she's gotten in bark boxes, and I think I threw about 5 different ones last night. And I got down to the bedroom, and here's this collection of toys down by the bedroom door where they'd all landed, and she looked at them and went, I'm not going after that one. And then she'll go over and pick up another toy and bring it over to me, and I'll toss it, and she'll go and bring that one back, leave the other ones there, bring back the new one that we're playing with, and then after about 4 or 5 times, I'll toss it again, and she'll look at it and go, nope, not picking that one up. And then she'll go get another one. And we would do this whole thing all over again. So by the time I got to go to bed last night, there's about 5 or 6 toys laying in the bedroom doorway. She had left them. And she would go stand on the other ones or jump over the other ones to get to the ones that had gone further than those ones had. So go figure. So yeah, so we had a big playtime last night and she enjoyed that. So anyway, I'm out of here. Go have a super fantastic sparkling evening. And I met a couple of prospective guests for the podcast. I just have to ask them if they would like to come on. And there's a couple of really great people that I can't wait for you guys to meet, be able to bring them on here so that you get to meet them and hear about what it is that they do, because they fit in nicely with our Live Your Best Life Now theme. In fact, I've got one I've got I'm going to get back who was a repeat guest, who was a guest we've had on in the past. And then I've got another one who we're getting lined up with to get her on. And then there was one I met last week who was also at Networking Riches this week. And then there was another person that I thought would make a really good guest as well. So that's 4 people that I'm going to approach and get lined up to bring to you, all with different things on how to live your best life now. So I can't wait. Oh, it's going to be so exciting. But anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, Konara.